What up, party people? This is your boy Rodney Perry, and this is the Box Seats. We're here every day. We talk sports, we drop these jokes, and we have a great time. In the hot seat today, my man Talon, how are you, sir?
I'm good, brother. You see me, man. The sun is shining over here. You know what I mean? I feel good. A caramel brother in between two dark chocolate brothers. I ain't mad at you.
Hey, I can tell when you're feeling good because you got that medallion on. You feel good when you got that medallion on.
Nah, you crazy.
Gentlemen.
We all good.
Hey, Roxilly in the building. How are you, Amir?
I'm good. How's everybody? How you guys doing today? Thank you for having me.
I know we take a while to get your Wi-Fi down there. How are you, man?
Everything is good. Everything is good, man. I can't complain.
I
It's
like the bow
midweek.
tie. Is that a clip-on or is that a regulation tie?
No, it's a clip on. It's a clip on. But you know, I got the regular too. I'm just not doing a regular today. Just wanted to get a little.
I know you might get in
color
the fight. You don't want nobody choking you out. Yo, that's what I got out of it. All right, hey, it's a lot to get into today, and here we go. All right, first of all, shouts out to the Atlanta Braves. They are the world champions.
Wow. Who called it, Rodney? Who called it?
Actually, everybody did, Tally, but you called it first.
No, y'all was going with Texas, bro.
Nobody went with Texas.
Check the clip. I put money on it, Rodney. You just asked it yesterday. Is it over? Is it going? It's going 7. Texas, and even you said.
Okay, Mike Sean did say it was going 7.
And you thought that they was going to win because it was a home game for them last night.
I didn't say that. The bully said that.
Check the clip. Check the clip.
I didn't say that.
I'm the only one said this shit is over tonight.
I'm saying you did say that.
Tonight, I said tonight it's over, lah.
You definitely said it. Solar's 3 home runs, land him MVP honors. Fans celebrate with racist cheer that won't go away. The Tomahawk chant. I mean, I'm not mad at the Tomahawk.
No, I'm not mad. I don't think it's racist, bro. Like, I think we're too sensitive, man. We know for a fact, real Indians and Native Americans, the Warriors did their chants.
The Warriors did their chant. Now, how about this? Let's say it is racist. What would be the equivalent for black people?
Every time a white person play a drum. Every band out there, Hootie and the Blowfish, Steely Dan, all you white people with their Kiss, Led Zeppelin. If you got a drummer, you racist.
Hey, wait. Hey, if you do anything like Little Richard, woo!
Any James Brown moves, any Little Richard, any Michael Jackson, any Prince, you racist.
Hey, yo, Amir, A-Rock, Sealy in the building. A-Rock, hey, man, yo, the Atlanta got it done. The Braves got it done. Big up to the city of Atlanta. And they're currently having a mayoral race. What does this type of thing do for a city, man?
You know what? I mean, anytime your city wins a championship, it's always that, it's that moment. You get bragging rights, obviously, for a year, which is always, a great thing. So you sit around, you kind of, tell the rest of the world we're the best in this particular sport at this particular time. So you just spend the rest of the year just ragging on your friends and bagging on the people who aren't part of your city. But you know what? For a city like Atlanta, it's been a little minute, since they, probably had a championship to speak of. So it's always great when your city wins. Us New Yorkers, you know how we feel. We can't wait for something to go down so we can be like, we told y'all we the best. There's nobody like us. So it gives you,
you don't have to worry about that no time soon. Look, shouts out to the Knicks, the Mets, the Jets, the Giants. Y'all got teams though, man. Yo,
gotta worry about that shit.
You can't worry about that. Yo,
I hate this dude, man.
yo, hey, and another city that don't have to worry about nobody checking it out is the Boston Celtics. What's up, Frank Holder? How are you, buddy? Okay, I'm gonna let you go. You know what I'm saying?
It's in another city. You ain't got to worry about shit.
Hey, all jokes aside, I brought Frank in because we got some breaking news with Aaron Rodgers. Frank, Give us that breaking news, man. Aaron Rodgers, man, is going through a lot of stuff right now.
Aaron Rodgers live. First of all, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What up, Frank?
Good.
Aaron Rodgers got caught in the lie, man. I don't know if y'all got the chance to catch the news out there. Aaron Rodgers said in August that he was vaccinated, and this morning it comes out. Actually, he said that he didn't use the exact word vaccinated. He said he was basically what I forgot the other word said, but he said
immunized. He was immunized.
He said he was immunized, and being that he said he's immunized, everybody assumed he's vaccinated. And I'm reading this right now, and people now are very upset. Of course, all the news is coming out there. They're very upset because he said he was immunized. People looking forward to this Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs game that was coming up this Sunday that now is not going to happen because why? Because Aaron Rodgers got caught in a lie, and now he's going to be out for at least 10 days. So that's the story right there.
Well,
so he's actually got the COVID. Am I right, Frank?
Yeah, he got COVID. He got COVID and knocked out for 10 days, man. So because of NFL policy, he's going to be out for 10 days. So 10 days from today, and if people are concerned, it might lead into not only this week, but the following week too. So, but I know
why this is concerning? You know why this is concerning, Frank? Because of the way the NFL dealt with Cam Newton. And a guy who's basically out of football right now because he wasn't vaccinated, but he had the balls to set up and say it. And then you got a guy like Aaron Rodgers supposed to be the quote unquote GOAT, and he's lying about it, man. It's a travesty.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is to see how the NFL is going to handle it. Bill Belichick had one way how he was going to handle it, but then they had to follow the NFL guidelines. What was the NFL going to do to and that was what happened to Cam Newton. We all saw what happened with that. What's the NFL going to do to that golden boy? Because right now, let's face it, right now it was in the MVP conversations as one of the best QBs this season. Let's be honest.
Well, hey, Mir, what's your thoughts, man? I mean, Aaron Rodgers caught in a lie. I got him listed as a LSOS, a lion sack of dookie, and yo, what's your thoughts, man? A guy like Cam Newton's not in the game right now because he stood on his principles, and Aaron Rodgers chose to lie, man. What's your thoughts?
Again, it goes to show you how interesting the dynamics of the world are now, especially in this current climate with everybody, taking a side one way or the other, whether or not you're for vaccination or against it. It's sad that you can seemingly twist your words the right way and things kind of go your way, meaning people don't question what you've said based off of how you said your words or what you've said. And in a case where, like you said, between these two quarterbacks, one clearly stated something that was, incorrect, and the other one just took a stance. And the people are, vilifying one, and we're kind of glorifying the other. Like you said, the man is in the race, almost in the race for MVP. So we got to see how this really plays out and what is really going to be the final stance once all is said and done.
Let me can I add one thing? Let me add one thing. I just see an alert too. Let me just add this alert too. I just saw the alert saying that Aaron Rodgers had petitioned the NFL at beginning of the season to say that immunization would equal to vaccination. How about that?
Now, what exactly is the difference, Frank? Can you track that down and let's figure that out?
Of course, right now, according to immunization and vaccination is stating that you are ultimately vaccinated. Immunization is stating that he is just immunized against certain qualities of COVID-19, not complete qualities of COVID-19. Just saying that he
took some sort of shot, but not the shot that we know as vaccine.
It wasn't approved by the NFL. The NFL declined way back then, but he still proceeded to go on with the season going on. And the worst part about this is too, let's not overlook this either, that Green Bay Packers allowed him to. You know what I mean? Obviously, the NFL was told not to allow anybody else, if you're not vaccinated, to participate in any NFL games. So Green Bay Packers lied also. He lied and Green Bay lied. Let's not forget that.
Wow. Talent. Let's talk about it, man. We got this whole thing with Aaron Rodgers. We had two of his wide receivers spend a lot of close contact time with him. He doesn't wear a mask when he's talking to the press. Is Aaron Rodgers just don't give a damn? I mean, this COVID thing is not about you. It's about the other people around you, man.
Right. First of all, we can't trust these chicks at CVS. We all know that. Secondly, Aaron Rodgers looked like Grizzly Adams. Just because he didn't shave, I don't trust him. Any man that wear that kind of hair in 2021, like you ain't no rebel. You're not selling Harley Davidsons. Yeah, you quarterback in the Green Bay Packers. So he looks untrustworthy. Yeah, I can't take nothing away from his greatness on the field, but he looks untrustworthy. We know damn well in the black community, you see somebody too scraggly, you like, yo, something up with son. Mm-hmm. Something up with son. Wow. What are you, allergic to clippers? You know what I mean? But you can't trust CVS and the vaccine. Now, wordplay has always been a thing with my Caucasian counterparts. They love wordplay. They love to say something that's supposed to mean something, but it don't. Immunization. Nigga, ain't nobody asking you about the mumps and measles. This is COVID, baby. The word that's been thrown around for 2 years straight is vaccine, not antidote, not immunization, not the flu. COVID-19 is related to the word vaccination, or vaccine for short. So all that little trickery he did, and Frank got a point. It's very curious to see how this is handled when it's the golden boy in the other color. I'm very curious.
Hey, your curiosity definitely needs to be addressed, talent. You make an incredible point.
I need a drink.
Aaron Rodgers is officially a lying sack of doo-doo, and we'll see how they deal with it going forward. Up next, Las Vegas Raiders, Henry Ruggs III. Are you familiar with Henry Ruggs, talent?
No, I got a friend named Henry, and I just bought a rug, but not Henry Ruggs. Is that
I wasn't very familiar with him either. Frank brought me up to speed. This guy faces 2 felony charges of DUI, resulting in death. So he's out there, he's behind the wheel of a car, he's drunk, and he killed somebody. And how about this? And he's been doing a tribute to one of his friends that died the same way years ago. And so Henry Ruggs, vehicular manslaughter, a death. Talent, man. As we unpack this, man, wide receiver Henry Ruggs, a great wide receiver too, is facing some jail time, mandatory jail time. If I'm correct.
Well, here's the thing that's crazy about that. It rings real close to home because this past weekend, Halloween young lady that we know from around here in the Bronx, same thing. Drank too much, came off the exit too fast, hit a tree, killed the man in the car with her. I guess it's the boyfriend, and the daughter's in critical, and she's in critical. They don't know if they're gonna make it. It just goes to show you it can happen, to the athletes as well as regular people. I don't care what you do for a living. You're still a person. And all I could do is pray for these situations, because it's after the fact or whatever. But there you go, another career, or athlete's life cut short as what it could have been, coulda, woulda, shoulda, because, we didn't do the right thing. That vehicular manslaughter thing is a real thing. And we got Amir on here. So, God bless the dead, the late, great Malik Sealy. How do you think he was taken from us?
Yes,
wow,
that's true.
Wow. So sorry to bring it up like this, Amir, to lose a family member, man. Speak to what a guy like Henry Ruggs. I mean, I know he's got to be apologetic. He lost a friend this way, and to be on the other side of this now has to be, really hurtful, man. What do you think he's going through right now?
It's so funny because, like Talon said, obviously this rings close to home. As he stated, that's how I lost my brother over 21 years ago. For me, it's always, rung especially tough because I realize, again, everybody's human. So you go out, you try to celebrate and/or, just enjoy your life. Drinking and driving is a real part of everybody's experience in some way, shape, or form. We've all done it at some point. We've all found ourselves on both sides of the coin. But the interesting thing about it is, obviously, if you survive it, in theory, you tell yourself, I hope to never put myself in that position again. As a person who, like you said, has to live with that every member, you just really hope and pray that people start to really understand how dangerous a game that is. Loss of life in the blink of an eye is something that, you really don't understand until you have to experience it up close and personal. In the case of, this gentleman, I really just hope that, unfortunately, with this being his second time, he really starts to take heed to, look, bro, call an Uber, stay in place wherever you might be, or shelter in place, if there's a possibility to do that, and then or safely, and just really try to stay away from that. It is not a great feeling, or something that people should have to endure or have to deal with, because it is heart-wrenching, believe you me. Like you said, you're talking to somebody who I deal with that. I still deal with that every day, every single day.
Man, thank you for sharing, Malik. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you, A-Rock. Thanks for sharing. Frank Holder, man, we saw this story, man, and it piqued both of our interests. Wide receiver Henry Ruggs the third, felony charges, man. Has a guy like this suffered enough? Or I mean, locking him up is not going to change anything.
Well, it might, because let's look at the facts. The facts are, depending on where state you are when you do this type of crime, is how you're going to be handled. Now, this happened in the state of Nevada, and this just is just being reported right now by ESPN. He was traveling at 156 miles per hour before the fatal car accident, and he had a blood alcohol level of twice the legal limit. So wow. He's in the state of Nevada, and I'm not sure if you guys know this, he's going to be looking at a mandatory at least 6 years in prison for doing this. So he already got cut by the Raiders. He's going to have to do 6 years in prison. And another thing, too, we can't forget either. He got 2 charges on him for this homicide, for the person he killed and their dog. So the authorities are charging him for the person he killed, and they're sticking on the dog. So he could be looking at 12 years in prison for this.
Wow.
So you can't overlook that either. And the crazy thing about this is, like Rodney said at the beginning,
he gets 6 more years for the dog.
He's gonna get 6 more years for the dog if the charges stick for the dog. So like I said, crazy thing is that Rodney said at the beginning is he had a friend. Every time he scores a touchdown, he takes 3 fingers, he kisses, he goes up. He had a friend died the exact same way when he was in high school, and he on the upside is, and now he's on the flip side of doing that. Too. Like, this is a crazy story. More is coming out, but 156 miles an hour, twice the legal limit. He should know better. Like that, I don't understand, bruh. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Wow. Hey, you know what, guys? Prayers up to that family that lost a loved one, and and again, A-Rock Silly, man. Prayers to you and your family for continue to endure. This is Box Seats. I'm Rodney Perry. That's Frank Kohler. That's Amir A-Rock Silly. And my man Talon is in the building. Moving on, guys. The NFL trade deadline passes. OBJ is still in Cleveland. And how about this? Odell gets the day off. Did you see this, Frank? Odell gets the day off because of Odell Beckham Sr.'s video yesterday.
Wow.
So they say, hey, look, man. We're not going to get rid of your ass, not just yet, but take the day off, because we still not throwing you the ball.
Take a day
off. Talent. Yo, man, why they messing with Odell, man?
So, it's been football players where X-rated videos came out, and they keep them playing. But his father take a video of him opening the field, go, you know what, go and take a day off. Y'all starting trouble. Y'all starting trouble in Cleveland. Here's my thing. We talked about this, and talking about OBJ, we talked about this of like he has to get to a place where calm down with the shenanigans. That's just bottom line. It's like, okay, you did what you did in New York and blah blah blah. You see how the league frowned upon it, and calling themselves getting back at you, sending you to at the time a supposedly desolate city like Cleveland, which end up in 2 seasons being good and a contender. You're supposed to take that like a blessing and like, okay, y'all tried to do me wrong, end up doing me right. Let me play and fly right. But he's still going back to the OBJ textbook shenanigans, bro. I can't even be mad at them giving him a day off. Calm down. Look, give him a Rodney Perry. Calm down.
Well, hold on, Amir, man. What did OBJ do? He called a spade a spade. He didn't even do it. His dad did it. But how about this, man? I mean, when Mayfield first got there, he was trying to force it to him, and Odell goes down. Then he figures it out. Now the guy's back. He's still not throwing it to him. Like, is this personal? You think?
I think there is some, some personal stuff involved, but I think to Talon's point, and I think this is a lesson for any young and or aging player in any sport. Look, we already know how great some of you talents are. There's no question about it. We see it night in, we see it night out, or game in and game out. But here's the other side of it. Let your talent speak for itself, meaning just go out there and do the work. And look, everybody will eventually cheer you, will put you up on posters, will debate in barbershops and in shows like this how great you are. But let your talents be the thing that gives us that ability. When you start doing all these kinds of shenanigans, what it does is it derails your greatness in some sense. Yeah. And then it leaves us as fans sometimes kind of trying to feel like, do I really want to cheer for this guy, or do I want to villainize him so that this way I can have somebody to hate? You guys are great. We like I said, we know it. That catch, we still talking about a catch that happened how many years ago now? Let's think about that. That catch happened like at least 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately? Hey,
hey,
Frank.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So if he goes out and he just finishes up, his career by going out there and just being a solid, great player, all the rest of this will go away. Just be great. We'll cheer for you.
All right, yo, hey, look, Frank Holder. How about this, man? You got the whole thing. We've been looking at this from the Odell Beckham perspective, but what about Baker Mayfield? Like, should Odell Beckham be apologizing? Like, maybe he was a horrible guy to this young kid when he first got there, and now maybe he needs to sit him down and be like, look, dude, I like you. Throw me the ball. Am I way off base?
There's so much things to unpack here, man. Let's look at it from the facts. The facts are this. OBJ, they did a diagram worse than everything else. He was open 4 times and didn't even get thrown the ball. In those same 4 times, the QB didn't even look in his direction. So you could take that as you will. Amir's not wrong with what he's saying, but if you're in a tight game and your quarterback is someone injured, and he don't even look to throw you the ball, everything else, that's some game planning that's coming from the offensive coordinator saying some things to the QB, and then obviously Baker Mayfield's not even looking his direction. That's a big one. And the other big thing is too, let's not forget this either. Let me just say this one thing.
Hold on. You saying it's coming from the front office? It's coming from the coaching staff?
I'm saying it could be coming from the offensive coordinator, which could become, because look, OBJ has not performed well in 2.5 years. He's in the top 3 of the best wide receivers and top 3 of the paid best wide receivers. Let's not forget that, bro. And Baker Mayfield could be told. Look, and then on top of that,
Frank, you just broke down some. That's crazy, man. That's a really interesting idea. Hey, Talon, what do you think? What Frank just said? Frank said maybe they're trying to get rid of OBJ.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would make a lot of sense. And if you're a quarterback, your plays are being called from your coordinator. But I think I think both things are right. I think that's a little bit of that. And I think it's a lot of where they left off. Now, I know we're 2 seasons removed, but let's not forget when OBJ was catching a lot of flack when he first got to Cleveland, he was throwing that shit back throwing him under the bus. He was putting it on the quarterback. He was not taking heat like directly for himself. He kept saying, Baker Mayfield, because y'all see me. Y'all know I'm proving what I did on the Giants, and y'all know my skills. It's him. So now that the team has turned around, remember, they did that a whole year damn near without OBJ. So now he comes back, joins the team off the injury, and they're already firing on all cylinders, doing good. So now you look silly because you said it was this guy, but you got hurt and they got better.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So now the pressure's back on you. So I think, like you said, Rodney, 10 minutes ago, there's an apology somewhere in there to be made.
Yeah, but he got. Let's not forget this. They got better. He got hurt. They got better, and his contract had ballooned. Let's not forget that either. His contract got as the seasons went on. He was making more and more money because he wanted to always be in the top 3 paid wide receivers. Not even talking about
everybody. Stop right there. Hey, A-Rod Silly, tell me that it ain't coming from the coaches or the front office. They're trying to get rid of Odell Beckham Jr. Tell me that ain't so, man. I can't deal with this, man.
I mean, in all fairness, that really does sound like that could be a possibility. The one thing that we have to always take into account, and especially, and you gentlemen have touched on it, endlessly, especially when it comes to the NFL, is unlike some of the other sports leagues, the NFL, the owners control how and where you move in that field, in that realm. It just is what it is. We'd like to sit here and believe that, as great as shots and so forth and so on. Just the other day, y'all saw Von Miller got moved, and Von Miller is probably is going to go down as one of the greatest linebackers the game has ever seen. But they sure enough said, "Hey, we've had enough. We appreciate you. We're going to send you over here and allow you to finish out your career, over in that realm." So it really does tend to that you can believe that the owners are sitting around in some cases saying, "We don't know if we want to continue to deal with this kind of shenanigans. And if and when we don't want to, we can move you when and how we want to move you."
Final word on this, Frank. Final word.
Great point, because look what happened to Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson, not even 48, 72 hours ago, was a so-called happy wide receiver in the Los Angeles Rams. The next thing you know, out of nowhere, people are saying, "Oh, he gave a lot of problems to the Rams and everything else." Then the Rams tried to trade him. They couldn't get no trade offers for him. And yesterday, he was officially cut. Deshaun Jackson is one of the top two fastest wide receivers in the game. And right now, he's sitting at home unemployed.
Wow, it's crazy, man. Wow. Hey, a lot of stuff to unpack here. It's Box Seats. It goes down. We talk sports, we crack jokes, and we do this every day. I haven't checked in with our audience. Let's check them out. Boom. Sharonda is in there.
What up, Sharonda?
Believe it's possible, Rodney. Please believe it. Oh, wow. Say it ain't so, Sharonda. Our Facebook uses a conspiracy theory. Back at you.
The conspiracy theory is that LeBron is behind the whole thing.
Wait a minute.
Supposedly, this is a ploy for Space Jam 3.
Shouts out to Frank Holder is in the building. Frank, Renee says it's nice to see you.
Hi,
Frank giving us the facts today. That's your new segment, Frank. It's just the facts. I love it. Okay. Yes, your talent is what will keep you relevant. I don't know, man. That's a lot. Moving on, guys. We got still some more stuff to unpack. We are officially halfway through the show. Up next, Ben Simmons refusing 76ers mental health. I mean, as we're coming out of OBJ, shouldn't a guy like Ben Simmons be doing whatever he can do to stay on the team right now? Amir.
Ben Simmons, we keep talking about Ben Simmons every week. And, again, there's this new youth movement, obviously, in all sports, because every 10 years we get a new influx of wonderful new talent to our sports teams. Unfortunately or fortunately, the way that the world is set up now, though, there is excuses built in. Mental health thing, not to say that some of these young men and women aren't dealing with mental issues as we know them. The interesting thing is you just wonder, though, because the reality of it all is you've been preparing technically probably since you were very young for this time and this moment. And you'd like to believe that in that preparation, you've had to deal with some adversity. You've had technically prepared for almost anything that is going to be thrown at you, now at the professional level. We're seeing, how there's some chinks in the armor, and maybe the pushing players along isn't maybe the best thing. We may have to go back to some tough love early on and these kids prepared for what the real world is like, which means, fans and people who are true sports fans, we don't care. We really don't. And I'm not saying that's me, but I'm saying in general, sports fans don't care. We want to know.
Amir, you don't give a damn. It's okay. It's okay, Amir. You don't give two.
Hey, Rodney, you want to prove you crazy? Turn down crazy help. When they offer you mental help and you go, "No, I don't want it," then it's crazy.
Talent. I mean, like Amir said, we've been talking about this guy Ben Simmons for quite some time. He played the mental health card last week, but don't we have to give it some credence?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, you look crazy You play the mental card. I come in and offer you somebody to help you with that, and you turn that down. Is that not solidifying? You got to be a little off. You know what I mean? If you're going to use it, and we gave you the benefit of that, you know what? Maybe there's something wrong. Hey, send so-and-so over there just to chat with them. And you turn that down or disregard that, then did you really go through something mental? Or did you, like we said on one of the shows, is that the new out? You know, the new out that leave me alone is I'm going through some mental stuff. We all going through mental stuff. Let's be honest. The only reason we call it mental health and mental illness is when it reaches that breaking point or beyond. You know, there's a breaking point as a human being that it's an overload. It's too much. What do you do when it happens to your computer? Amir, you're in corporate America right now. You got to call, what is it? IT got coming in.
IT, yeah.
IT coming in. They got a whole department for this shit.
Yeah.
So they offered him the help, and he said no. I got to think of something else to that.
Frank Holder, maybe Ben Simmons feel like they're trying to set him up.
Yeah, he has to be, because at the end of the day, if the Sixers if he turned down the Sixers, he's concerned because the Sixers are sending in a psychologist that's going to benefit the Sixers. The psychologist is going to tell Sixers management everything that they see versus him going to his own psychologist and him giving a report of what the psychologist is saying. You know what I mean? The psychologist comes in from hired by the Sixers. They're going to be looking to see if they can plug holes in any of the story that he's created or creating, if it's true or not, anything. And let's be honest, like Talon said, it's one of the things like a back issue. You know what I mean? Like nobody can't really tell how bad your back really is except you. You know what I mean? But if a psychologist can pull out a little bit of ways to get you to say certain different things, then maybe they might be able to see through something that might be what his concern is. You know what I mean? It's one of the things you can't really say. I don't know. You know.
Great point.
Well said, Frank Holder. Frank, you managed to put together about 2.5 minutes of nothing. It was beautiful. I love it. Hey, yo, all jokes aside, man, the college football power rankings are out. Georgia sits atop the list at number 1, Alabama at 2, Michigan State at 3, Oregon at 4. Have y'all had a chance to look at these power rankings? Y'all want me to go down the whole top 25?
Honestly, Rodney, if we moved on, I would be mad at you because I don't understand the college ranking. I don't understand.
I don't either.
This is what I don't understand how a team that's undefeated could come in at 4 and a team that has 1 and 2 teams on that list that have lost 1 game. How they
the record, who they play comes into play.
Yeah, but how do you? If you're sitting down, let's be honest, right? If you're sitting down and you're looking at the whole graph,
down right now.
I'm saying you sit down, you look at the whole graph, because you ain't looking at the whole graph. You look at the whole graph of who they played and everything else right now, it still doesn't make no sense. But the strength of the person you're playing, you don't know the strength of the person you're playing to the end of the season. You don't know how strong they are.
Hey, first of all, let me go on record. I hate college football. If you don't make it to the pros, I don't ever want to see you. Okay?
You talk about being tough on your kids.
I'm hard on the kids. I tell my kids the same thing. I tell my kids, I said, look, y'all either be overachievers or underachievers. You either give it a full ride or go, I'm working at McDonald's, Dad, and they pay $15 an hour now. But anyway, power rankings are out. And this is a big deal for a lot of sports fans around the country, man. And you always see the same faces, man. You see the Alabamas, you see the Georgias, and you always see the same faces. How is it that some organizations stay so strong every year after every year? Frank Holder.
It stays that way because those organizations are in the news all the time. They're on TV all the time. And those guys go and recruit the best high school players and say, hey, you have a great shot of making it to the pros. Let's be honest. Look at what Alabama did. Alabama right now has more people who go from Alabama to the pros and Alabama and Georgia than almost any other program out there. Now, if you're sitting at home and you're a college coach and you're going to talk to a high school kid, the first thing you're going to say is, you want to go to the pros, you better go to Alabama. You want to go to the pros, you better go to Georgia. You can go to HBCU if you want to, but you got to go to O.J. Simpson if you're going to make it to the pros.
Hey, you might not make it to McDonald's, you go to HBCU, and that's not fair. Talent.
First of all,
I'm sorry, Amir.
First of all, it's an oxymoron. Black dude going to college and say you got to go to Alabama. You know how long it took me to get the hell out of Alabama? As a black man, it took my people hundreds of years to get the hell out of Alabama. And then I go to school and you go, Take your black ass back to Alabama. I don't want to go back to Alabama. Now, here's the thing. The reality is this. College is like any other business. Some business are invested in other things. You can look at some schools and they hang their hat on no collegiate sports. You look at some schools, they hang a hat on baseball. Some schools hang their hat on football, basketball, etc. Now, depending on what you're hanging your hat on is where you're going to shovel that athletic money. So those are the people with the ones you see on top. They spending the most money in scouting, like Frank said. They got them high-paid scouts that go everywhere. They find the Ginobilis and all the people nobody looking at. Those are the super scouts. But they got the money behind it to push it. You look at a D2 school, a D3 school, or, a junior college. They're not spending as much money to do the same thing. So you might see them down at the bottom 25, 40 teams or whatever. But those top 10, 20 teams, best believe that's what they put their money on because it brings in so much money.
We got Georgia at the top, Alabama number 2, Michigan State number 3, Oregon number 4, number 5, Ohio State number 6, Cincinnati number 7, Michigan number 8, Oklahoma number 9, Wake Forest, and number 10, Notre Dame. Amir, as we look at this list, man, our colleagues have said some really great things about the money and how that plays into it. What are some of the other factors you think?
I think, some of the other factors that, come into play. And again, I can only speak to this because I know what happened when my brother was in college. Yes, it was a different sport because he played college basketball, but sometimes some of these guys get the opportunity to go in and make programs by carrying those programs themselves on their back. They may not start out in that, mind frame and mindset, but based off of how great their skill set is and what they can actually bring to the organization, they turn some of these, organizations around. In the case of college football, like you said, it's kind of, pretty much dominant by the teams that have always been great and or the organization's alumni, because a lot of guys who, make it to the pros, your Deion Sanders, your Warren Saps, and, guys like that who, we know from our heyday, don't think that those guys don't go and tell, some of the new kids, hey, look, man.
Amir's absolutely right.
There's the opportunity for you to, have these things happen for you once you get there. So that plays a major factor as well. But I think the biggest thing is, finding an environment and especially finding a college that's going to suit your energy and like I said, what you're going to bring to the table. That's paramount for any of these guys. You know what I mean?
Amir's absolutely right. Because how many people heard of Georgetown before Patrick Ewing got there? Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's absolutely right. I bet you if you was to ask the same amount of people before that happened, Pat Ewing gets there. Now everybody and their mother in the 80s knows who Georgetown is. Everybody's buying the gear and everything else before Patrick Ewing gets there. Now Amir is absolutely right, man. Some of these dudes come in and they carry programs too.
You're right. I was like, what the hell is a Hoya?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Hey, we did a story yesterday about Marcus Smart calling out Tatum and Brown, but Brad Stevens has chimed in. Hey, this is your wheelhouse, Frank. Break it down for me. What's going on out there in Boston?
Honestly, Brad Stevens just basically came out and said, we need to keep stuff more so in-house and everything else. But let's be honest. Marcus Smart didn't lie. If you watch the Celtics game like I watched the Celtics game, he ain't lie. Those boys don't pass the ball. But if I was them, I wouldn't pass the ball to Marcus Smart either. That dude.
But Marcus Smart, hold on, Frank. Marcus Smart didn't say pass me the ball. He said y'all got to pass the ball.
No, I'm just saying. But if you watch the games, the most person who's open all the time is Marcus Smart because he's open because those two dudes are driving. You know what I mean? And they look at him and they decide to drive and go into traffic versus passing him the ball. He wasn't saying necessarily pass me, but honestly, man, the Celtics are still messed up, man. I can go on and on and on about the Celtics. I'm angry.
So wait, is Marcus Smart a scrub?
No, he's not a scrub, but he's not the best three-point shooter either. You know what I mean? If you're Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, you have the length, you have the quick first step. It makes most sense for them to go to the basket, right? Because you'll get an and one, or if not, you'll at least get something out of it versus passing the ball. A lot of times these dudes settle for passing the ball first. I mean, for shooting first instead of passing the ball. That's what Marcus Smart was saying. Pass the ball.
Talent. Frank says we need to tell Marcus Smart to shut the hell up because we're going to drive anyway. What's your thought?
No, and Marcus Smart is absolutely right. Basketball is a team sport. And if he's not seeing the ball getting worked around enough, you know what I mean? Like perfect basketball and real regulation is to pass the ball around to the open shot. What he's saying is these two dudes been reading their own press clippings, and they rather go force a shot or try a triple move or whatever when you could have just kicked it one more time to an open guy and got an easier high percentage shot, but they're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, hey, Amir, is Marcus smart? Marcus dumb? And then should they keep playing how they playing?
No, I think he's making an absolute great point. If we watch, and I know you're probably going to allude to this a little bit later, but I watched that Lakers Rockets game late last night, and to see those young guys there on the Rockets, that group of young players, they reminded me more Boston has looked like over the last few seasons. When they had all of those guys, and they were relatively young, and those guys were coming along trying to understand. Still a team sport. I get the fact that you're going to have some people who on your team are the leaders, and it's their job to then facilitate how the team goes as a collective or as a whole. But the reality of it all is those two dudes are the guys who set the tone. So if you're not setting the tone properly by getting these kids involved, who wants to rebound all day and take elbows and fall around and dive for loose balls and then not be a part of the offensive, part of the game as well? I'm not doing that. I don't care how much they paying me. I want to be a part of the game too. So I think that they have to go back and sit down quietly, like Brad Stevens is saying, talk amongst themselves, define, everybody start defining their roles and get back to playing basketball as they had been playing for the last few seasons prior to, what we're seeing now. So we have to wait and see.
Yeah, the better question really is that coach really all of that? You know what I mean? That's what the question should be. And I think that coach is not doing a great job at all, honestly.
I mean, you've been calling for Brad Stevens to get the hell out of there for a while, Frank. Is this the moment? No. Brad Stevens is not even coaching anymore. It's not even his fault right now. But
he's in front office.
I think he made a big mistake with the person he chose. Now, I like Ime Udoka and all that. And I like him. And I get all that and everything else. But they need a different type of coach. They need a Doc Rivers kind of coach who's going to come in there, and who has coached already in the pros. You don't need no rookie coach to come into the Celtics.
Right.
You need a pro coach who know what he's doing and to put dudes in their place and tell them, pass the damn ball, period.
Who do you like out there, Frank? I mean, there's a lot of coaches that fit that bill. Who you like?
I like Rhea Perlman myself from Sunset Park. She had us playing real good in the championship. I mean, that's just me. I know it sounds biased, but I'm just saying she had us playing real good in that game. So good.
Yeah, honestly, there were so many coaches out there that snatched up jobs and everything else. But the dude I wanted them to get was Billy Donovan, because at the time Billy Donovan was available, and they could have got Billy Donovan, but he ended up going to Chicago. So you know what I mean? Like Celtics didn't even try to interview him.
And Chicago is playing great right now.
Right now, imagine if Billy Donovan was taking that same way that they're playing with Chicago and instituted that in the Celtics. We be having a different conversation because they're playing really. They're playing better than
expectations. Still be getting their ass tore off though, right?
No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. It's the way you play to call the plays and everything else. But let's look. At the end of the day, the surprising thing is the Celtics are not doing what they should be doing with the price is. Miami is. You got some teams that are overperforming. Miami, Chicago. Some teams underperforming. Celtics. Look.
Now, hold on, guys. Is this an opportunity for us to slow everything down? And it's still early in the season, and we'll see the Celtics figure it out?
I don't know.
If they hire Mark Jackson.
I like that.
Wow.
I think because what happens with this thing called Murphy's Law, which is, real big, you go back to the Irish and you go.
Whatever can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah. So if you take a guy who used to be a Knick, one of your arch rivals in the East Coast, the Eastern Conference, and he becomes the coach, nowhere to go but up. Nowhere to go but up. I guarantee you talk about the hunger of the team, the talent, the young talent being hungry, and him as a coach being relentless and hungry to prove himself once again in the league where he's been shunned for so many years. I think they'd kill. And I'll be mad. I have mixed feelings. It'd be like a mixed woman.
Okay.
I don't know if I like her white side
Amir,
or her black side.
Amir, what do you think about that suggestion Talon just made, man? I think that actually sounds like, that could be a good look.
That is an absolute great look for, if they could pull that off. First of all, we've said it, and you guys have touched on this again. We think that Mark Jackson should have, long time, had an opportunity to coach somewhere. And this is no disrespect to the current coaches that are, coaching the various teams around the league, but Mark Jackson is already, a proven guy who understands the dynamics and not only coaching, but I think he's also a great developer of people. Yeah. So I think with his background and the way he plays the game and playing it from the cerebral way that he's played the game, because even as a kid, I used to, go to the, particular tournaments around the city, and Mark Jackson will hit you with 50 and you'd be like, he's the slowest dude out there on the floor, and give you 50 without even blinking. You'd be like, how did Mark get 50? So, you know what I mean? But he understands the game. So I think the talent's point, that would be a really, really great pickup for them if they could somehow, pull that off.
Yeah, that's fairy tale.
Frank, how high would you jump to get a Mark Jackson coaching your team, man?
I would jump right out the screen right about now.
That's why that team is.
I'd be like,
you see the negative thought process of this man. This is why they lose. Is that, Frank, what do you think about? That's fairy tale. That's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen around.
Hey, I saw Mark Jackson do an interview with Shannon Sharp, man, on his podcast, and Shannon Sharp asked him like, what happened? And Mark Jackson was we look at some of these players like, that's the way to answer the question. He's like, look, I don't know what happened, but if they want me to come back, I'm ready to go.
What happened was he was too much of a preaching too much Christianity. You know what I mean? He crossed, at the time he was a pastor leading up at a church. They didn't like that NBA powers to be. Didn't like he had a lot of things going against him at the time. Let's be honest. Yeah. He was my pastor at my church. I was going out to his church. I went to his church several times, man, in LA. He was killing it.
Yeah, you can't bring religion in here as a coach. You have to handle this as business. You can't. And let's keep it real. You can't even do the Pledge of Allegiance in the school. They took that out.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna go in there and talk about Jesus in the locker room?
No, you can't do that, man.
Jesus wants you to dunk, my son. Jesus wants you to dunk. Jesus threw that out.
It is disgusting because Mark Jackson is the one who scouted half the roster that Golden State has right now. You know what I mean? Mark Jackson
he convinced those guys they could win. All right, guys, let's move on. From now on, we're 10, 11 minutes left in the show. Everything hot takes, guys. Everything hot takes. Jerry Jones expects Dak to play on Sunday. Of course, Dak went down. The backup play last week. Dak will not be out again. Am I right, Amir?
He won't be out again. I told you the owners run the show. You heard what I said a little while ago. He's gonna be playing Sunday.
Hey, is Dak okay though, Talon? Is Dak okay? Is he? I mean, should he sit out so he won't risk injury?
No, he should play. I'm betting money on the game. He should play. On my ticket, Rodney, on my ticket, I give a damn about your health. I care about the point spread.
What is the point spread,
He broke his leg. Limp, cross that line, Negro. Just for all the ducats.
Hey, Frank Holder. Hey, man, Dak injured, or is he hurt? There's a difference. Is Dak hurt or is he injured? And in your opinion, should he be starting this week?
In my opinion, he should sit down because he got his contract. He don't have to play for that. The QB who came in proved he could win a couple of games without him. You know what I mean? He needs to make sure he's not injured nor hurt. That's what he needs to make sure he's not.
Right. Facts.
And honestly, he don't need to rush it. You know what I mean? Dallas is leading the NFC. What is it, East right now?
Yes.
He ain't got to worry about that. There's no stress on that. And the QB who came in and took his place, not only did he play okay, he played well and won the game, bro. Relax. Do one of these. Sit down. Relax. Let this dude get this one more week and then come back after.
Spoken like a true non-betting dude. He ain't betting.
All right. Also, all right, guys. Again, we only got a couple minutes left. Hot takes only. Let's go.
That's right,
Take your time. Call your mother. Put some alcohol on it.
Scottie Pippen is in the news. He slammed Michael Jordan for making The Last Dance all about him. I mean, but ain't that what Michael Jordan do? Amir. That's Mike, baby.
It's Mike. Scotty, I know, he's going to be upset about how this thing supposedly plays out. It is what it is. Scotty, look, at this point, Scotty, you could do your own story. Scotty could do his own story.
There you go.
He did. He got a book that's out. It's out.
There you
It's
go.
out right now.
Why is it so wrong when people give their POV? Like, that's that person's point of view. You might think you had a great time, and it might be that one guy in the band that I hate these he only on the tour for child support reasons. He hates you guys. And the other four guys are like, yo, we like a family. We love each other. That dude in the corner like, I hate y'all. I don't want to hear. I got one more check to go, and I'm out of here, and I'm gonna play my own solo ukulele. That's it.
Yo, Frank Holder
had his moment. Scottie Pippen had his moment, right, Rodney? He had his moment. He had it.
Hey, he definitely had his moment. But here's the question, Frank. Do Scottie Pippen need to sit his ass down somewhere and stop talking altogether?
Yeah, because like I said, he had his moment when Michael Jordan took off a year, and then when he went to Portland, he had a three. Was it they were up three games to 2? He could have took that Portland team to the NBA championship and won.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I think that happened to him twice. He had his moment, bro. You didn't get it. Sit down. That's
as black people, we gotta stop.
Frank a cold brother, boy.
But we gotta stop doing that. Black people do that the most. We get mad at each other for not capitalizing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get mad at you because you capitalized on the same opportunity I had.
No, we get mad because you talk about it and you trying to put down somebody else when you had the opportunity. He had the opportunity. Now, if he had said nothing,
but see, I looked at The Last Dance. I didn't look at it as putting people down. I looked at him as his point of view. Like, this is what I've seen. This is what I think at this time. And this time, he didn't get on and go, it was trash. And I didn't want him anyway. It was none of that. In moments, you shine. In moments, you didn't shine. And this is my POV on that story.
And Michael Jordan said in The Last Dance, I wouldn't be here without Scottie Pippen. He gave him his shine. Scottie Pippen still's trashing him. So
look, y'all love Michael Jordan. Just admit it. It's okay. You love Michael Jordan, and anybody that besmirch his name, go to hell.
I love Scottie too, bro. But I don't like people. We have a habit of when one person capitalizes more than the other, we have a habit of finding negative in that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a habit.
All right, guys, last question.
Look at that.
I got another one.
He waiting for the question. Look at him.
No, Deshaun Watson. The Deshaun Watson deal is off the table as of now. The whole thing in Miami is not going to happen.
Right.
And what do you guys think this guy's going to end up, Frank?
Honestly, I think he's going to still end up in Miami. I think they just tried to do a trade right now. It didn't happen now because obviously the trade deadline and of course Houston's asking for the sky and the moon. But once the things come down and then once the charges are cleared and everything, all that gets settled, which will happen in the offseason, then they're going to sit down and then they're going to, figure this whole thing back out again. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen right this second to the offseason. But he's going to Miami, bro.
I said it 10 times. I say it 10 more times. It's a reason we got rid of Sam Darnold. When, normally you wouldn't get rid of him. We got him coming to the Jets.
Nah, y'all Jets got the QB of the future right now. That white kid is.
No, he still got some. He still got to learn a little bit. He still got. You seen him sitting on his back in the end zone. Nobody does. He got to learn.
I'm telling you. I called Justin Herbert last year. I'm calling that Jets QB who.
No, he's gonna be good, but you don't miss out on the top 5.
Hey, Rock Silly, what's your thoughts, man? Where can Deshaun Watson end up? And maybe him and Dak Prescott and a couple of black people should just make their own team. I don't know.
I think I think Deshaun Watson is, unfortunately, he falls in that category that we talked about with OBJ. They may end up sending him to an abyss where he ends up on a team that is not doing extremely well. The team is decimated, and they put him there just as a way to, teach him a lesson and any other players who may rise up and, take the league through what he's taken them through. Now, granted, this goes to both sides because he's not in this alone. We've, obviously made fun about the massages and all this stuff, but the reality of it all is, how is this such a big story when the dude who brought this to the forefront is the neighbor of the owner. Like, how are we still even holding on to this at this late stage of the game? And nobody's questioned that. We don't think that that sounds weird or strange.
It's
Come on,
very
y'all.
strange.
Sounds weird
Very
and strange. Amir A-Rock Sealy is in the building. Thanks for coming, kicking with us today. We talked about the last dance. Amir, it's late. The party is almost over. What's going to be the last dance you hit him with?
Well, the last thing I'm gonna end with today is, like I said,
No.
you know, I watched.
No. You at a club.
Okay. Mhm.
Club is ending. You got to do your last dance of the night.
What's my last
What
dance?
dance you going to hit him with?
It's probably gonna be the WAP. You know, we taking it back. We, you know, doom to doom 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 doom.
I love it. Hey, Frank Holder,
Da-dum.
you and your lady on the dance floor. What's the last dance you hit him with?
I probably still would do the thing from the Digital Underground that dude did with the thing. Like, I probably still gonna do that.
Hit it for me one more time, Frank.
Still doing that. I don't care about lady or not. Last
I
dance.
love it. Hey, tell it. It's
Yo.
your time to hit that last dance. What you gonna hit him with?
I see the check coming. I'm doing a running man out the front. I see that check. That's our check. A running man out the front door. What main source say? I'm looking at the front door.
The front door.
Yo, hey man, great show today. My name is Rodney Perry. You can catch me at Rodney Perry Live on all social media. Frank Holder is the man, the myth, the legend that had this whole idea. Frank, how do people stay in touch with you, bro?
Stay in touch with the Humor Mill at humor_mill on Instagram, at the Humor Mill on, of course, on Twitter, everything else. Download the Humor Mill app, please. You know, tell a friend to tell a friend.
I love it. Amir A-Rock Sealy in the building.
Hey, I love you guys. Thank y'all for having me on as usual. A-Rock Sealy at Instagram, Amir
Yes, sir.
Sealy on Twitter and on Facebook. I'm always hanging out with these cool gentlemen here. So let's get it done.
Yeah, he almost called
that
his son's
Talent.
position. He almost
Talent.
said
How do we find you, man?
Hey, Talent the Comedian, DA with a DA. Talent the Comedian on Instagram. Follow your boy, man. It's going down tonight at the Hartford Funny Bone to be with my boy Marshall Brandon and Aldo Laugh, putting it down at the Hartford Funny Bone tonight. Come on and check us out, man. We're going to be stone cold blasting it, man. That's what we're doing.
Hey, y'all, this weekend I'm here in Atlanta at the Atlanta Comedy Theater all weekend, Thursday through Sunday. It's going to be a stone gas. Hey, y'all, that's our show for today.